The Exxon team was given a plot of land deep in a dense forest. There was a single pipe going into the ground. That was all. It was surprising because of where it was located. It turned out to be an old, dead volcano, completely covered with trees and grass. They decided to send a night vision camera down the pipe to see what was inside. The camera had to descend about 30 meters. After that, it revealed a huge tunnel. This operation was carried out on March 1st, 2018. The exploration team was based in the southern Polish city of Lublin. About 30 meters below the surface, something extraordinary was discovered. Something that later appeared in a Jam TV video. Once the camera was rotated inside the tunnel, a shocking scene came into view. A track was seen running through it, which puzzled everyone. What was the purpose of a track here? Then, in the distance, an armored vehicle caught their attention. When local authorities were informed, they became involved. It was discovered that this tunnel dated back to World War II. According to old maps, it was part of a lost underground complex. It turned out the tunnel had been built about 80 years ago, during the later years of the Second World War. For years, local authorities had been searching for the entrance. It had been sealed with heavy stones and later covered by soil and grass. All signs of the entrance had vanished, but from the inside, the tunnel perfectly matched what was shown on the old maps. The tracks inside resembled those used in mining operations. It seemed likely that the tunnel was used for storage during the war. The iron equipment inside had rusted and decayed. Old tools, like drill bits and spades, were still there, lying exactly as they had been left 80 years ago by Nazi soldiers during the war. At that time, Nazi Germany and Japan were fighting against the United States and the United Kingdom. Many countries fell to Hitler's forces. Thousands of underground bunkers were built. Hitler started this initiative, and later the Allied forces also began using underground tunnels and bunkers. During World War II, bunkers were of immense strategic importance. They served both defensive and offensive purposes. They protected soldiers from enemy attacks, air raids, and artillery bombardment, and provided a safe base of operations near the front lines. They were designed to allow troops to infiltrate enemy positions. Germany, for example, built bunkers along the Atlantic coast to defend against Allied invasions. This vast system was called the Atlantic Wall, a massive coastal defense stretching about 2,400 miles, 3,800 kilometers, along Europe's coastline, intended to repel any invasion from the sea between 1940 and 1944. Thousands of bunkers, ammunition depots, and fortified artillery positions were part of it. In northern France, in the region of Normandy, there was even an artillery battery named Longues-sur-Mer. Some of these bunkers still stand today as historical monuments. The Atlantic Wall was built by the German engineering organization Todt, headed by Fritz Todt, using around 260,000 workers, most of whom were prisoners of war. Despite being built under harsh conditions, many sections still survive as reminders of the war. In 1942, an event known as the Dieppe Raid was launched by Allied, mainly Canadian forces on the French coast. Its purpose was to test the strength of Hitler's Atlantic defenses. But the strong German fortifications and bunkers repelled the attack with devastating effect. 3,600 Allied soldiers were killed or captured. After this failure, the Allies realized that a successful invasion would require massive resources, careful planning, and the construction of their own bunkers and tunnels. Thus, nations like Britain, France, and the Soviet Union, as well as Canada, spent vast amounts of money building underground command centers. One famous example is Churchill's War Rooms in London, an underground headquarters used by British Prime Minister Winston Churchill to direct operations during World War II. It was designed to withstand German air raids. France also built the Maginot Line, a vast system of underground bunkers and tunnels intended to defend against German invasion. However, during the war, Germany bypassed the line by invading through Belgium, rendering it useless. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Japan, an ally of Hitler, also dug hundreds of underground bunkers. A vast network of tunnels was constructed beneath the islands, housing artillery, ammunition stores, and living quarters. These tunnels were used for surprise attacks and to resist Allied assaults. Building such bunkers was a massive engineering challenge. Many workers even died of suffocation underground. Yet thousands were completed, and many still remain buried and intact today. After the war ended, some soldiers sealed the bunker entrances and fled, while others died inside. As a result, the exact locations of many bunkers remain unknown. Many secret documents were destroyed or hidden by Hitler's regime. So much of the information about these bunkers was lost forever. The bunkers were built with camouflage, blending naturally into their surroundings so that they could not be detected from the air. They were equipped with ventilation systems to circulate fresh air and remove carbon dioxide. Among the most famous of Hitler's bunkers was the Eagle's Nest, Kehlsteinhaus, a fortified retreat built of concrete and granite in the Bavarian Alps, featuring bomb-proof construction. Another was the Führer bunker in Berlin, Hitler's final command center, where he spent his last days and died on April 30th, 1945. Though hidden underground, it remains one of the darkest chapters in World War II history. Hitler also spent much of his time at the Wolfslair, Wolfschanze, a massive, fortress-like bunker complex in a forest in northern Germany. Its concrete walls were up to 7 meters thick, reinforced with gravel and steel. It was designed to survive even direct bomb strikes and chemical attacks. It had no windows, only air vents for circulation, and was camouflaged with trees and vegetation to blend into the forest landscape. Despite all these precautions, the Allies eventually broke through Nazi Germany's defenses. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, more than 156,000 soldiers, 5,000 ships, and 11,000 aircraft stormed the beaches of Normandy, finally breaching Hitler's Atlantic Wall. Though the battle caused heavy losses, it marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. Eventually, the Allies liberated Europe and destroyed Hitler's regime. This discovery in Poland, the old volcanic tunnel with tracks and wartime relics, is a haunting reminder of that buried past. Thank you for watching this Jom TV story. Like, share, and stay tuned for the next amazing video.